Hi there, my name is Sola John, and this is Man Making a Difference Every Day. On today's episode of Man Made, I like to discuss the 3W of men. Oftentimes we ask ourselves, I provide, why is this woman still complaining? A whole lot of men think that being a father, being a husband is all about provisions. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when they think when they have provided, they have nothing else to do. But I like to tell you about 3Ws. And these 3Ws was advanced by my friend. I mean, he was speaking to some of us as men in a group, and then he was leading us, and he mentioned them. His name is Ihanacho. The 3W of fatherhood, of a father. Number one is work. From the scripture, the Bible, anyone who doesn't work should not eat. It is expected that a man should work. It's becoming a huge concern that a lot of men are lazy. A lot of men aren't working. Men who now live off women. Some men target, independent women, career women. They target them for relationship. They just break people's heart, or position themselves to a woman's life, and then once they get into her life, they don't want to do anything. Now, when we talk about work, it's about dignity that God has given to man to be productive. God expects that we as men should be productive. There's nothing wrong with having lofty dreams. There's nothing wrong with having big visions. However, before your dreams and visions fall into place, can you just find something to do? It brings honor, it brings dignity to you. There is dignity in labor. I remember a story told by somebody, a big man. He was traveling, and then he got to the airport. There was this guy who works with who works with the airline, trying to check people in, serving their passengers. The guy served him so exceptionally, and he said to himself, "You must be educated. Your service is different." And the guy said, "Yes, sir. I have a first degree in physics." So this guy had a first degree in physics. He couldn't secure a job, and he decided to pick a job that wasn't paying much. And in the course of serving, someone saw him and told his PA, "Please take his name, let him send you his CV. We need to engage him. He's underemployed." There's something about labor, there's something about work that brings fulfillment. There's something about work that engages the mind. It is often said that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. It's an idle mind is capable of generating anything but productive things. An idle mind is always engaged, plotting, devising things that are not useful. So as a man, one of the things you need to understand is you need to work. Now, this work could be done with your hand. This work could be done with your brain. It could be done with your mouth. It could be done with your feet, like Usain Bolt. He works with his feet, right? And then he just needs to win one Olympic, and probably he's sorted for X number of years. Some will work with their hands because they build houses, they play instruments. Some will work with their mouth, like I'm doing right now. It's work. If you can talk, that's a good thing to do. You can work with your mouth, you can counsel, you can facilitate, you can be a speaker, you can do quite a number of things. Some will work with their brains, they generate ideas, they're into consulting, like I am also. But whatever it is, you need to work. Work doesn't kill. In fact, hard work doesn't kill. Laziness may kill faster than hard work does. You are not useless. God created you with some set of potentials, abilities to work. If you have not started using those giftings, abilities, and potentials, it's because you don't know. One of the best way to know is to do personality assessment or ask people around you, what do you think I'm good at doing? How best do you think I can contribute to the society? How have I influenced you? And you think I can do it for multiple number of people? A father should work. In fact, the Bible says, he who does not work should not eat. It is important. A father should work and he should provide, because that is part of his responsibility. He is expected to he might not be able to provide all that the family needs, but he should be able to provide. He should be seen doing something. He should be seen being productive. It is very, very important. You see this productivity thing? I want to speak to you as a man. A lot has changed, and I'm very much aware of that. But I want to plead with you. Please don't join those group of men who live off women. Whether your father, your mother, or your girlfriend, or your wife. In my growing up years, it wasn't something that was a thing of pride. And I'm not saying that if your mother is rich, you should not spend your mother's money. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll give you examples of what I'm talking about. I know a lady who is now out of the marriage because the man was violent and there were a lot of things that were not right. A single mother of 2. And then when I was asking questions, I was shocked. She said to me, everything that we use in the house, my mother-in-law provides. You want to hear the worst part? And she said, even if we have to do family planning, the money to do it, my mother-in-law will be the one to give my husband. He doesn't do anything. When they get him a job, he soon finds fault with his boss, he soon finds fault with his place of work, and he returns home. As a matter of fact, she said, we were living in my mother-in-law's house, myself, my husband, and the children. She pays my children's school fees. She feeds us. Brother, that is not representing us well as men. I am speaking on behalf of other men. You are bringing disgrace to the club. No matter how little the money is, you need to work. Your wife needs to see that you are working. Sometimes, due to economic situation, you might not be able to bring in the amount of money that you need or that the family needs. It's understandable. The woman may be earning more than you. It's understandable. Your mother may be rich. It's understandable. But to be lazy, indolent, to choose not to be productive because the money is there. I want you to know that any amount of money will finish if it is not multiplying. Even if it is multiplying, if yours is just to spend it, you are already creating the poverty for the next generation. One of the things I've seen with rich people is that they are deliberate about how they raise their children. They are deliberate because they send their children to the best of schools. They take them through the rigors of training the child to be able to manage their wealth. Why? Generational wealth can only be managed with prudent people. You have to be shrewd enough. A man wanted to give, I remember watching this movie, I think it's Ultimate Gift. A man wanted to gift his son his estate. Upon his death, he wanted to will everything to the boy, and he asked the boy for $10,000. The boy went to the mother gave him $10,000, and he brought it to the father. The father put the money inside the fire, and the boy didn't do anything. And the father told him, you are not ready. Ask him again for $10,000, but I want your money. Go work for this money and bring. And it took this guy X number of years to gather the money. The boy raised the money and brought it to the father. And so the father set the money in fire. The boy put his hand into the fire and pulled the money out. Yes, the man said, now you are ready to take over my estate. You know why? Because, you see, a waster is a brother to a thief. Brother, you need to understand that whatever you are bringing in, there is honor in it. But to choose not to bring anything in because the ideal situation in your head it's not working out, something is wrong, brother. All right, it's my wife's money. I can spend it. Yes, I'm here to celebrate with you. In fact, you can invite me. But I want to tell you, if all you are spending is your wife's money and you are not doing anything to contribute to it, you are likely creating two things. Number one, you are digging the grave of poverty for the family. Number two, the woman will soon get tired of you. And if she doesn't get tired of you, you are probably raising children that will not know the dignity in labor. I have seen a man, and I'm very sincere with what I'm saying. I've seen a man who everything he spends, everything, including the airtime in his phone, is his wife. But he never contributes anything. Maybe he contributes at a domestic when the wife goes to hustle and then she's keeping the home. And there's nothing wrong with that, actually, because they could as well have paid for that. But the woman expects something more. She expects some level of contribution. God created you to work. Because in working, you are becoming productive. You are contributing to life. You are sustaining your family. Second W, we are created to watch. We are like watchmen. We watch in the place of prayers. Real men don't allow things to happen before they happen. In fact, God desires the head of the home to speak to you way ahead of situations that will happen in your home, that will happen to your wife, that will happen to your children. He will tell you way ahead. It is one of the things that gives a man an edge in his family. It's one of the things that makes a woman respect the man she's in a relationship with. God desires to speak to you. He wants to tell you about your children. He wants to tell you about your wife. He wants to tell you about the days ahead. A man should watch in the place of prayers. A real man should be a man who will fast for his family. He will pray for his family. Who will seek the face of God for his family. God expects that. Job did that. Read the story of Job. He will even sacrifice in case he's thinking that his children may have sinned. God wants us as men to lift up holy hands everywhere, to speak and to pray on behalf of our family. We need to also watch out. We are watchmen. We need to watch out with the kind of friends we keep, the kind of friends our wives keep, the kind of friends our children keep, so they don't bring death into the family, so they don't bring damage into the family. You need to listen again what people around you say and know the kind of persons they are. I give you an example. There's this family, they moved to another country, they just working newly, and then for the period, because of the profession they had, they couldn't afford childcare, and the husband was taking care of the children and the wife was the one working. If the husband was working, they probably would need to pay somebody to take care of their children. Then another family friend who, for one reason or the other, used to also once in a while keep their children with them or their child with them, came and was trying to tell the man that it was wrong for him to take care of their children and his wife working, sowing seeds of discord. Now, if I were that man, I would cut off that person. That's the smartest thing to do, because everybody knows what works for them. The man working at home, taking care of their children, is a paid job. And so he has taken off the payment by doing that. It's important to watch. Watch out for what people say. Watch out for the kind of children, your kind of friend your children keep. Open your house, let them come. Let the children, your friends, the friends of your children, let them come to your house. So you know the kind of friends they keep, and then you can tell them, be careful with this, be careful with that. We as men, we are watchmen. Many years ago, I had a friend, I remember. He told me how his wife had a dream and a big snake entered into their house. And he was asking me, he doesn't know the meaning of the dream. And I said, what were you doing? How did the snake get to enter into your house? You as the head of the home, what were you doing? And I said, you are the gate man, you are the watchman. Ensure that no snake comes in. Nobody who is cunning, nobody who is deceptive penetrate into your home and cause damage. Wake up, I told him. Number 3, we are not only to watch, we are to war. We are called to fight. Like I've said in another of my videos, we are entrusted with a generation. We are entrusted with a generation. I don't know whether you have been operating a generational curse, but I can tell you, you can start a generational blessing. We are entrusted with a generation. The children we are giving birth to or we are raising, they are nations. We are entrusted with them and with the children they will give birth to. And so we are called to war. We are called to war against cultures that are destructive. We are called to war against spirits. We are called to war against things that are bent on crippling our lives and the lives of our family members. We are called to war against them. We are called to fight them off. We are called to secure the destinies of our children and the people that come around us. So we are called to work, we are called to watch, we are called to war. We can't afford to act like civilians. We can't be indifferent. We've got to really face it up. We've got to be at alert. We've got to take charge. This is not by bullying. It's by taking our place. It's by being sensitive. It's by knowing that we're in a warfare. It's by knowing that we have to be at alert, we have to be vigilant. It's by knowing that we're created to work. The position of a father is a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. And being a father is not only to the children you have given birth to biologically, it could also be to children who have taken shelter under you. It could either be spiritually or where you work or in your neighborhood, like a community that have come to trust you, or people who work in your company, people whom God has entrusted into your hand. And therefore their destinies hangs on you. Being a father to them is providing shelter for them. It's showing them a pattern of work, a work life, work attitude, work ethics. It's showing them how to be watchful. I remember what happened to me when I was much younger. And then I had this group of friends. For each of them that I had, my father keeps saying, you can't be a friend to this person, you can't be a friend to that person. And at some point, I was saying to myself, Dad, they are my friend, they are not your friend. I didn't really understand what he was talking about. And then one day, a year after the last correction he had to make about a friend that I had, I was on the way to the farm. And I didn't know that was what growth meant. It was as though there was this black polythene that was covering my eyes, and then they just removed it. And suddenly I looked back and I was like, excuse me, how comes that ABC are my friends? No, they can't be my friends. We are not heading the same direction. And guess what? That was my eureka moment. I was told later, I got to know that I was growing to see what my father was saying. The African Proverbs says, what an elder can see sitting down, even if a child climbs a tree or a mountain, he can't see it. You see, because it's not a function of height. It's a function of experience. It's a function of perception. Because it is actually possible for a child to have more clothings, brand new clothings, designers, more than an adult. But he certainly wouldn't have more rags than an adult. You see those rags? They're a bunch of experiences. They're a bunch of experiences. Man, we are called to work, to watch, and to war. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe you have something else to add to the responsibility of fatherhood. Or you probably just want to share this with someone else. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until I come your way next time, I remain Sola John, and this is Man M.A.D.E. Thank you, and bye.